Today, I'm giving an update on the Glock 45 with the Radian Weapons System barrel and compensator, Ramjet and Afterburner. This particular pistol has probably become one of my favorite range guns. Now, I have to say, from an ergonomic standpoint, it does not fit my hands as well, particularly because there's no undercut here. The ergonomics are not great, but I've been shooting Glocks for so long, 30 years now, that I just know what they do, and I know sort of how they're going to work and what I'm not going to like. But it's like anything else, guys. If you have a particular handgun and you enjoy shooting that, you're going to get used to it. So I love the folks who go and they pick up a gun once and they haven't shot it at all, so they have no idea of the recoil impulse or anything else. They're like, no, that gun sucks. Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've held a couple of firearms and shot a couple of firearms that I didn't really like. Well, I wouldn't say they sucked. I just said, they're not right for me. They don't have the right ergonomics or whatever. Let's talk about the Glock 45. So I have done some modifications to this particular pistol that we've talked about before, swapped out the sights. I think I am going to put the Holosun EPS green with the 6 MOA onto this pistol because I have that on the Glock 43X and I absolutely love that optic. It's fantastic. And I'll replace these sights, which are Trijicon sights, with some XS sights that are suppressor height sights, so I can use both the sights and backup sights essentially and the green dot. This pistol, as I said, has had and does have a major upgrade, an expensive upgrade, which is the Ramjet and Afterburner. I've also got a trigger in here that is actually a combination that just sort of works for me. So I shot the skimmer trigger in here for a while, and I liked it. And I also like the Glock performance trigger, so I've kind of combined those parts to give me a trigger that, for me, I like, and it works very well for me. Again, triggers are subjective, sights are subjective. Somebody else could say, yeah, I tried that performance trigger, I hated it, or I love the stock Glock triggers, or I love Apex triggers, or whatever. Dude, like, awesome, man. Like, that's fantastic. Whatever works for you. I have noticed, though, that this combination that I've done, I really do like the trigger. So there's a little bit of take-up, break, right? Very clean break, right? But there's not as much take-up. So you get to distinct wall, break. And it's a little, that break is a little farther forward than other Glock triggers. So that is one of the nice things about this trigger. Frankenstein trigger I've set up. What else about this? And we've also got a Surefire X300 turbo light on the front. So all of those things give weight to the front of the gun, and you combine that with a compensator, and there is very little muzzle rise in this pistol. It's very flat shooting. It is remarkably flat shooting. So for me, with my handicap and some of the challenges I have with my left hand and arm, the ability to run this pistol is really, it just works for me. It's a setup that definitely works. The pistol itself, this Glock 45, has 5,000 plus rounds through it. So I bought it over a year ago and have just been shooting it, not as much as I'd like, but I have been shooting it. And so yeah, 5,000 plus rounds through it. About 2,500 of those rounds have been with the Radian Weapons systems, the Ramjet and Afterburner. And frankly, guys, like, that is it's like the best, few $100 I've ever spent on a pistol, taking a good pistol and making a great pistol. If I can make one recommendation to anybody who has that extra money, do that. And you're going to be so shocked at the improvement of the pistol. Now, there are lots of pistols out there, and you can buy Glocks from the factory that are already, compensated. I just found this particular setup that I've kind of mixed and matched and put things together works great for me. This pistol has been incredibly reliable. I've had a couple of stoppages with my reloads. which always happens with my reloads. I've probably got a 90% quality rate there, so 10% are not going to be primer properly seated or whatever, and so you'll get a lot of tap rack assess drills, remedial action drills to fix that. And I was using some Magpul magazines, aftermarket mags for the Glock, and they're just training magazines. And those, some of those, I think there's one or two that occasionally on the last round, it will not lock the slide to the rear, so that it's probably the magazine spring or perhaps the follower is preventing, is not coming up enough to catch the slide stop or slide release mechanism. But other than that, with Glock mags, functions flawlessly, absolutely flawlessly. I'm going to go take a class with Frank Proctor in a month and a half, and I'm going to shoot this pistol, at least based on what it says we're going to do. We'll shoot 1,200 rounds in the course of 2 days. That to me is awesome. I can't stand going to a class and standing around and listening to the instructor talk for 5 hours, and then they let you shoot 1 hour, and then the rest of the time they're having you do other stuff that just doesn't help, or it doesn't help me. So I'm super excited to go down there and study with Frank. He's one of those guys I've always wanted to study with, and I'm going to run this pistol hard. I will bring a backup pistol, a Gen 4 Glock 19 that has had some work on it, grip reduction. It just has iron sights. I like that pistol. It works very well. And we'll give you an update, obviously, after that class, and also give you an update as we get to, you know, the 10,000 round mark. More to come on the Glock 45 with the Radian Weapons system, Ramjet, and Afterburner. Folks, if you enjoy our content, you can also participate in a GoFundMe drive that we're doing right now. Trigger control drill, not a speed drill. Gotta throw one out. Okay, so I've done these few drills that are just nice slow shots. I'm not happy with how I'm performing, because at 3 yards I'm not putting them in the same hole. They're close, but that is an indication to me I'm not quite dialed in yet. All right, so we've done some nice smooth warm-ups, nothing crazy. Now I'm going to start shooting to the upper box. Again, little over 3 yards, about 3.5 yards or so from our target. I'm going to go nice and smooth, clean presentation, find the sight, smooth press on the trigger, reset on the trigger. I'm going to do 2 shots starting at 10. So we'll go 10, 15, 20, 25. See if I can hit it. Here we are at 10. Okay, not bad. Those two are pretty much in the center. Okay, like that. We're staying consistent. $35. Folks, we fired 457 rounds through the Glock 45 with the Radian Weapons Ramjet and Afterburner. We started with some very simple small warm-up drills, so at 3 yards, working our way out. Slightly larger dots, I threw one out in that sequence. Then we went to some faster shooting strings at 3, 5, and 7. Same thing with our head area up here. The goal was to keep them in the yellow area. So I'm telling you guys, the Glock 45 with the Radian Weapons, Ramjet, and Afterburner barrel compensator combination for me works extremely well. The pistol shoots flatter. It's easier for me, given my physical handicap, to deliver consistency in hits. And the overall performance and reliability of the pistol has been phenomenal. Just no issues whatsoever. So I'm a big fan of this pistol. I'm going to try over the next 2 months, 3 months to shoot it only this pistol, which is hard for me to do because I like revolvers. I like my Smith & Wessons. I like my SIG pistols. I like long guns and shotguns. So I'll shoot the long guns and shotguns, but I'm going to try to dedicate exclusively to this pistol. And when I go shoot a class with Frank Proctor here in the middle of August, that's all I'm going to shoot. It's 1,200 rounds over 2 days. I'll obviously bring more ammo, hoping I can shoot more, jump into strings. So I'm excited about that, and we'll give you an update both on the class and how the pistol performs. But again, 5,000 plus rounds through the pistol, and approximately 2,500 of those are with the Radian Weapons Ramjet and Afterburner, and I'm just super impressed. Again, more than 5,000 rounds to the pistol through the setup. It works great. So please help us build the channel. And if you have $3, $4, $5 that you want to donate to us to help us do that, continue the content, and to help us upgrade some of our video equipment, we'd really appreciate it. And again, thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you folks, all the folks who watch this channel, share this channel, and enjoy the content. Thank you so much. I'm deeply honored and deeply humbled by your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, finally. And as always, stay safe. All right, these are a couple of our targets here. This I shot exclusively with the Glock 45 Radian Arms Ramjet Afterburner. 3 yards, 2, 2, 2, and then 2, but that was not particularly good. Some uplook press drills, some hostage shots, headshots here, missed one here. Let's take a look at our other target. So here, everything from this side over, I shot with the Glock 45. Felt pretty good about these groups here. Had a nice warm-up session here, kept them all in. Then I transitioned after shooting over here to a revolver, 38 Special 686. And, shooting double action, it's not as easy for me. Now, I was able to get 5 out of 6 here from 3 yards. And then I was doing okay, and then I threw a couple out. Doing okay, throw a couple out. Just low in that case. So, kind of interesting.